shut up. Yo, what is up, AD team? Austin Dunham back again with another video. In today's video, I'm gonna take you through my 4-step process that I do before my handstand training. And if you do this, follow it exactly, you will progress faster in your handstand holds, and you'll be able to actually hold them a lot longer than just jumping right into handstand training. All right, so step by step, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the handstand obviously starts with our hands, and a part of our hands is our wrists. So if you're a beginner, you probably have come across some wrist pain or just your wrists giving you issues when you first start off. That is why before every single session, I like to warm up my wrists so that I don't have any pain or injuries before I get into my handstand training. So real quick, I'm gonna show you what I like to do. And I like to keep it very, very quick and fast. So what I usually do is I'll interlock my fingers like this. I'll rotate to the left about 10 to 15 times. Then after that, I go the other way to the right 10 to 15 times. And what this doing is really just loosening up my wrist. I'm not necessarily stretching it or anything. I'm just making it more loose, more fluid, so that when my wrist does bend, it's not gonna hurt as much. And also keep in mind that I personally like to use parallettes or push-up bars to avoid wrist pain. But if you are practicing on the ground, this is definitely going to be useful for you. So after that, I like to also interlock my fingers. I kind of do a wave motion like this. Just like for 20-30 seconds, just like that. And then from there, I like to kind of just fling it out, loosen up the wrist a little bit. And then when I'm at the gym, what I would do is I would grab 2 10-pound, 15-pound dumbbells, very, very light, and I would do wrist rotations with the dumbbell. So I don't have any dumbbells around me right now, but what this allows me to do is the extra resistance just loosens up my wrist even more than just doing it with nothing. So try that out. It's definitely going to be useful. And then if you want to, at the end, grab a wall, or you can do this on the ground. Put my hands flat, and I like to bring my shoulder up above my palms and kind of give like a little stretch like that. And I like to pulsate it too, so I'll start my shoulder kind of not above my palm, and then I'll go into it. What this is doing is literally replicating the handstand body stacking, because it goes from our hand to our shoulder, then our waist, and then our legs. So I'll do this just to warm it up a little bit more so that I don't have excruciating pain going into a handstand. Rotate it this way, back down. Then after all this, you may notice that like the back of your wrists are a little tight, so you can even go this way too and kind of loosen that up just a little bit. And play around with your hand motions, see what works best for you and what makes you feel the best after you do this. All right, so wrists are now fully warm up. Do that as long as you personally need to. Now let's get into the next step. All right, the next step is a hollow body hold. Probably seen this before, but the reason why I like to do this before I get into my handstand training is because it kind of trains my body to already learn that stacked position that I need to be in before I get started. So with the hollow body hold, you're flat on your back, your feet are up about 6 inches or so, your arms will be overhead like this, and this is also a good tool to kind of open up your shoulders a little bit too. And you want to push out of your shoulders, so don't just hold your arms flat like this, like push out through your shoulders, keeping your head up while bringing your feet up like this. And what you'll notice is this is a little bit of a core exercise too, but it's also, like I said, training your body to learn that alignment of the handstand, because I would say this replicates the handstand a lot without actually balancing it. So I will hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. Pushing through my shoulders still. And then when my core starts to give out a little bit more, I will rest probably about a minute and then repeat that twice more. But honestly, now I'm at the point to where I only need to do this about 1 set and then I'm good. But if you're more of a beginner, definitely do this a few times just to warm up a little bit more. So that was the second step after wrist warm up. Let's move on to the next one. So after hollow body holds, next we're going to move on to wall handstand holds. Now, depending on your level, this might actually be your training for the day, but let's say that you're working more of your balance without the wall. I still recommend that you actually try and use the wall at first, just for like a few sets or a few minutes before you actually get into the free balancing. The reason is because just like the hollow body hold, this is going to train your body positioning and alignment, and you're getting used to being upside down just a little bit. So what I recommend that you do is 1 set or 2 sets back to wall while actively trying to balance your legs, and then another set do stomach to wall, just pushing through your shoulders. Don't worry about balancing. So I'm gonna show a set of each right now. As you saw, I kind of balanced it quite a little bit right there, and that's actually a good sign. That shows that my body is warmed up, I'm warmed up, and I'm already getting used to the handstand position. So next, I would do the stomach to wall, like I said, just focusing on pushing through my shoulders, not necessarily balancing. All right, guys, I think my body, my shoulders, my alignment, my wrists, everything is warmed up. This process will probably take 15-20 minutes depending on how fast you go through things, but we're moving on to the last step of our handstand process. Let me show you what's next. All right, so the last step after all what we went through is the technical practice and implementation of it. Now, you can approach this in 2 ways. The first one is just attempts or kick-ups. And this is when you're more at a very, very beginner stage and you're still really working the technicalities of the handstand. So attempt and kick-ups literally look just like this. So hands on the ground, straight arms, shoulders over palms, just working on your kick-up like this. It's pretty much gonna look like this the whole time. You might balance one by accident, but pretty much all you're doing is working on your kick-up. As you can tell, my right leg, my kick-up is horrible, so I need to practice that. Fun fact, if you looked at my beginner routine, I actually have handstand kick-ups a part of that workout, and that was for a reason. Like I said, it's because I actually did them. So after you do kick-ups, or let's say you're more advanced, here's where you'll actually do holds, like full holds, practicing the full movement. And how I like to practice it is by implementing time under tension with pretty much any static skill, but it works really, really good for handstands. So let's say my goal is 1 minute handstand. What I like to do is double that for my time under tension. So what that means is that I like to be in the handstand position for at least 2 minutes total. However many sets it takes me, it doesn't matter, as long as I'm upside down for 2 minutes. Sometimes I'll get it in 3 sets, sometimes 4, sometimes 6. It depends on how the day's going and what I'm feeling like. So let's go ahead and attempt a full hold right now. Oh, there you go. Yep. Thing about the handstand when you're learning the technicalities of it is that you really learn how to work in your best interest. So for example, I almost fell back, but I know through tons of practice that if I push really, really hard forward, that it'll keep myself from falling back. And personally, I have to mentally tell myself to keep my body this way, otherwise I will fall back. So that is my full handstand routine to progress even faster. Guys, I go way more deep into actually the programming of handstands, planches, levers, L-sits for beginners especially. in my program known as Calisthenics. So if you want to check that out, link will be down below in the description. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram too, guys, Austin_Dunham. I show a lot of tips there too. And last thing, you see the new merch is coming out. So stay tuned to the vlog channel for that, Austin Dunham Vlogs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like the video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.